Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are welcome, my friends. So let's get this straight. More women than men went to watch Wonder Woman. More women than men went to watch Momoa in Aquaman. But more men than women went to see Captain Marvel. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Now this is official from Deadline. So a verified site. So they are saying, I think about 60% of men went to see Captain Marvel and about 30%, 39%, something like that anyway, of women went to see Captain Marvel. So what does this mean? Disney and Marvel Studios were desperate to get lots and lots of females to see this film, and it hasn't worked out. This film was always going to make money, but this film for Marvel and Disney was about much more than making a healthy profit. Always, they wanted to make a statement. You can tell if you've seen the film. The constant kind of gag about the cockpit, the constant virtue signalling about how all those men told Captain Marvel that she couldn't achieve anything in her life. But it turns out that women would rather go and see Momoa and Wonder Woman than Captain Marvel. So what went wrong? What went wrong with Disney's initiative? Well, it was too passive aggressive, and they put females off of going. There's a lot of talk about wanting young girls there. We've got a picture of a young girl and Brie Larson kneeling down in the premiere talking to a young girl. But the point is, this hasn't worked. Now, the only other comparison really is with Wonder Woman, who did have more female, a bigger female audience than a male audience. Why? Because Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins conducted themselves in the right way. Brie Larson didn't, and the two directors in this film barely uttered a squeak in the marketing. They were in the background. Patty Jenkins was there in the forefront, so you had two women being positive about the film. You know, as I've said many a time, talking about how Wonder Woman is for everyone. Smart move. But it shows that women were very impressed the way Gal Gadot kind of conducted herself during the marketing. And there's one thing we know. Women don't necessarily like women. We know that. Anyone who knows women or groups of girls knows that groups of girls can have issues with groups of girls. It's obvious for me to see, and with some of the females that I've spoken to, that they didn't like Brie Larson. So it's just really, really funny that more men than women went to see this film. So this whole initiative of making a feminist superhero film has failed. The box office hasn't failed. They're going to make a healthy profit. But what we've got to focus on now, and ignoring the box office because this is an MCU movie, it's always going to make money. We don't know what kind of drop-off it's going to have. The day-to-day drop-off is absolutely staggering. But we shall see this weekend how many people are going to return for this film. Not a great many, I would assume. But when you've got this initiative of this first female-led movie, and you're making a lot of noise about making films for females to go and see, and females say, do you know what? I'd rather see Momoa, I'd rather see Wonder Woman. Well, so why would women rather go and see Aquaman than Brie Larson's Captain Marvel? Well, that's simple. There's two reasons. Obviously, Momoa is a well-built, good-looking guy, but he's also a good guy. But mainly, vitally, he's a personality. Brie Larson isn't a personality. She's not really someone you can like. She seems very cold. She seems very distant. She seems very arrogant from the outside looking in. So no one's going to kind of say, yeah. But in terms of someone like Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, they are very likable. Likeable people get the public on their side, and unlikable people put people off. And they've got this woman here, Brie Larson, who's been making a lot of big talk. And also the problem is we must also forget that they made this political, and we must remember Many women will be on the right side of the political argument, just like many men will. But basically, the people who were going to go out and see any Marvel movie went to see this, and this is why it had the huge box office. But Disney have failed with Captain Marvel because it didn't do what they wanted it to do, which is to have a prominent amount of females going to see it. They wanted to attract females who wouldn't normally go and see a superhero movie. They have failed. And they failed because they marketed themselves in a passive-aggressive way instead of a positive way like Wonder Woman was marketed. Will Disney learn their lesson? Will they keep on doing this? We've seen the divisive manner about the way people talk about Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. It is now a big problem. Disney, you need to learn your lesson.